I am, of course, talking about Kamari Blair, the 4-star offensive tackle from up in Clarksville. So he was committed to South Carolina. I believe he committed like July 16th, maybe, to South Carolina. He'd gone on a visit there, and he had committed just a couple days later. I think it was the Saturday, and then that he took the visit, and then he committed that Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week. But he announced his decision to flip, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday of last week. And again, more surprising that he went to South Carolina in the first place, just in comparison to the fact that he flipped back to Tennessee. But Jordan, your initial thoughts on Kamari Blair?
I will say that I am happy that Tennessee got another offensive lineman. I mean, he's got decent size. He's listed at 6'5.5", so maybe he gets up to 6 foot around the time he comes to Tennessee. He's a little bit of a lanky guy, I've noticed, though. But I mean, maybe that contributes a little bit to his play on the field, because I mean, he was quicker than I thought that he would be, and he could move side to side pretty well. But I will say I did see some cons with this game. First of all, he seems like a very scrappy player, which I love from a lot of football players, but more specifically, I like that more on the defensive side of the ball. I'm pretty sure there's one play I saw where he hit a player that was not really in the field of play, and I think the flag was thrown for him. I'm not sure if it was.
I'm not sure either. I know what you're talking about.
I saw a flag fly pretty high in the air. But I mean, he's a mauler out there. I mean, he definitely pretty good at pancaking players and stuff. But another concern I had with him is he's almost 6'6", and he seems like he stands straight up a lot of the times when he blocks. I feel like he's really going to have to get in the chute and work on his pad level. I mean, if he's going to want to play at the SEC level, or he's going to get blown up by some of these SEC caliber defensive ends. So, I mean, that's pretty much my analysis that I've seen from watching some of his film.
Yeah, well, you took the words right out of my mouth there with the pad level. That was one thing I noticed when watching. And again, part of this may be just the fact that he's not going against guys like that in Clarksville that he'd be going against in the SEC. Just knowing a little bit about the high school football landscape here in Tennessee, you and I both went to high schools that played against Clarksville at one point or another when we were in high school, teams from Clarksville, that is. And Clarksville is like Memphis light in terms of recruiting in Tennessee. What I mean by that is you look at the teams in Memphis. Usually there's a couple of D1 athletes on each team. And they're good enough to burn just about everybody on the field, run right past them easily. That isn't necessarily the case in Clarksville. You have a few guys who are really good on each team, but it's more scattered, it feels like. Northeast is one example. Jalen Reeves-Maben is a Northeast alum. Just a notable example there. But for the most part, the teams are not actually that good when it comes down to it. Like, I think, when I was in high school, I guess I was in middle school for the first year they played against the Clarksville teams, but Brentwood only lost once to a Clarksville team, and it was because they were running some stupid triple option offense. But they ended up losing kind of a stinker at home. They beat every other Clarksville team they played, though. As a matter of fact, I don't think Kirkwood High School was around when I was in high school, and that's where Kamari Blair goes. But I do get what you're saying about the pad level, though, Jordan. I think that is right away my biggest concern with Kamari Blair. But I do think that can get fixed if he is going against guys who are closer to his size than some of these guys that he's going against in Clarksville. So that's something to look forward to in his game. And I do like the fact that he was showing a little bit of everything in that highlight reel too. Like, he was showing some pass pro stuff, some downfield blocking. Looks like he's enthusiastic about blocking downfield. some pancakes mixed in there too. So he can do a little bit of everything on that offensive line. But again, I do get what you're saying about the pad level.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it looks that way too because of how big the players that he's playing against are. I mean, because we know how it is with high school football in Tennessee. I mean, there might be a couple of big guys, but I mean, we're not talking about like South Florida teams out here where like everyone, like some of these schools could have like 6'3", like 250-pound defensive ends. Like you don't see it as much in Tennessee. And I will say a lot of the people in the highlights that are watching, I mean, a lot of the defensive linemen look like they were like lucky to be like 6 foot tall. So I mean,
they look like you and me out there going against Kamari Blair, pretty much.
Yeah, which is funny because we played line too. So
Yeah,
I
both of us
mean,
did.
we fit the bill for that
Two short
one.
dudes playing on the line.
Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, I'm sure he can get it fixed at Tennessee and everything like that. But I will say, like, just based on his tape, he seems more of a raw prospect than some of the other guys Tennessee's got in this recruiting class.